answering your questions on the monthly checks that are going to be starting in July. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being part of this community. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I am your daily advocate and I am back every single day to help you out in any way that I can through these videos. With that being said, thank you so much and let's get through this. So as many of you probably know by now, monthly checks will be starting in July for over 39 million households as a result of the expanded child tax credit. Well, as a result, just like so many other things going on right now, it's a confusing topic and I continue to get a lot of questions about this. So I want to make this dedicated video and I want to help you out with some of those frequently asked questions that I continue to see on this topic. So let's get through it and walk through these questions one by one, and I think this should be pretty helpful for you. So first question I see, are these actually happening? Are we really going to start getting monthly checks going forward starting in July? Yes, absolutely. These checks are already confirmed, they are passed, and yes, the first payment will be going out on July 15th. It has already been confirmed by the Treasury and the IRS in a joint statement just a few days ago. So yes, absolutely, they are happening. In fact, they will be happening. Will everybody get them? No. In fact, no, not everybody's going to get them. I will walk you through who is going to be getting these payments. It is for the child tax credit. So let's talk through this a little further. The next question I continue to see. Will Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries be able to get these monthly payments? Well, this is kind of a confusing question, but let me walk you through this. In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. So let me walk you through this. Like I said, this is the child tax credit. So if you are one of the beneficiaries of any of the benefits that I just mentioned, and you have a child under the age 18, 17 or younger, then my answer would probably be yes, you'll probably get the monthly payments. If you are a beneficiary of any of those benefits I just mentioned and you do not have any kids or your kids are 18 or older, then I'm going to say probably not. However, there is a one-time payment for those people who do have kids age 18 through 24, and if those kids are still in school, then yes, you could be eligible for a one-time $500 payment. So you get what I mean? It's confusing, right? So, since this is the child tax credit, it is for those people who have kids aged 17 and younger, and provided you're earning under $150,000 per year as a couple or $75,000 a year as an individual. So then yes. So do you know what I mean? I mean, seriously, it's a confusing topic. There's a lot of different parameters here and a lot of different eligibility requirements. So if you're a beneficiary, then the moral of the story is, if you're a beneficiary that I just mentioned and you have kids under 18, yeah, you'll probably get the payment. If you don't have kids under 18, then unfortunately, no. However, one of the follow-up questions I get is, I'm a Social Security beneficiary, I get retirement, or I get disability. I have grandkids, and I am the primary guardian of these kids. My kids have kids, and I'm the grandparent of the kids. I'm the primary guardian of them. Would I get the stimulus check or the monthly payment? Good question. So here's the deal. If you are the primary guardian of that child and you would be the one to claim them as a dependent on your tax return. So that's actually another question that I'm going to get into in here in just a second. But let's just say you claim them as a dependent on your tax return. Then yes, most likely you should be eligible to receive the monthly payments. The monthly payments will go to the legal guardian or the person looking after or whoever claims the child as a dependent on their tax return. Now again, I just want to make it very clear, I'm not your accountant, I'm not your CPA, I cannot give you tax or accounting advice. I would highly recommend that you talk to your person that you work with for those specific questions and your specific situation. These are just general guidelines. So, that leads me into the next question. I typically don't file a tax return because I receive any of the benefits that I mentioned a minute ago, Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, or I'm low income and I typically don't file a tax return because my income is low enough where I typically don't need to file. How do I get my payment and am I eligible? Okay, so it's a two-part question. yes, provided you have kids under the age 18 that you would typically claim as a dependent, then yes, you would most likely be eligible. However, if you do not file a tax return, the IRS may not know about your kids that you would typically claim as a dependent. Then what? Well, the IRS needs to get that information so that they can issue the proper amount of money on a monthly basis going forward for each of your kids under the age 18. So again, you get what I'm saying? It's kind of a confusing topic, right? But let me continue to walk you through this a little bit further. So if you typically do not file a tax return, have no fear. They're going to be creating a portal on the IRS website where you can actually go in and input all of your information so that they will send you the necessary amount of money on a monthly basis going forward, starting in July through the end of the year. Now, this portal has not been created yet. It is not up and running as of yet. However, when we get that information on that portal and when it's ready, I will bring you that information and I will walk you through exactly what you need to know to get through that portal and to input your information so the IRS will continue to send you those payments on a monthly basis going forward. So it sounds like, of course, I haven't seen the portal because it's not up yet. However, it sounds like within this portal, you can input your information where you can either opt into the payments on a monthly basis, or if you want, you can actually opt out of the payments and grab it as a lump sum payment early next year when you go to file your tax return. So that is an option. Now, just to put it into perspective, the lump sum payment would be anywhere between $3,000 and $3,600 per child. So if you have multiple kids, you could be looking at several $1,000s. I mean, $6,000, $7,200, $10,000, depending on how many kids you have. You could be looking at a massive lump sum payment early next year if you happen to do that over the monthly payments. Next question being, how much are the payments? Good question. It depends on the age of your kid. So, any kids under the age 6, so 5 and younger, would be getting $300 per month, or as a total, $3,600 for the year. For any kids aged 6 through 17, $250 per month, or $3,000 for the entire year. So, again, not bad, especially for those of you who have a few kids. I mean, you could be talking some serious money here, especially if you grabbed it as a lump sum payment at the end of the year. Man, that'd be like a massive amount of money right there early into 2022. So how does this payment work? They're going to send out monthly payments in accordance with the number of kids that you have and whatever amount that they are eligible for because of their age on a monthly basis. And then early next year in 2022, when you go to file your tax return for 2021, you would claim the remaining other half of these benefits. So for example, they're only going to send you monthly payments for 6 months. Well, you're actually eligible for 12 months. So then early next year, they would send you the remaining lump sum payment, which would be either $1,500 or $1,800, depending on the age of your child, assuming you have one kid. If you have multiple kids, again, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be double that. Or not quite double, because again, it depends on the age of your kid if they're different ages. So either way, pretty cool stuff, right? So anyway, these payments will, in fact, yes, be starting in July 15th. How will you get your payment? Well, you're going to get your payment in the same method you received your stimulus check and or your tax refund. If you file a tax return and you have your banking information on file with the IRS, then they're going to send your payment directly to your bank account or whatever account you have on file with the IRS. That's how you get it. Otherwise, there's 2 other payment methods: a paper check in the mail, or one of those prepaid debit cards. Remember these? They sent these out with the stimulus checks. Same thing. They're going to send out these prepaid debit cards. But remember, like I always say, the preferred method to receive payments from the IRS or the government would be direct deposit into a bank account or probably into some kind of other account, whatever you have, bank account, checking, savings, maybe like a Direct Express, PayPal, Venmo, or not Venmo. Yeah, Venmo probably would work. I don't know. Whatever other payment methods, Chime, these other payment methods. NetSpend is also a pretty big one. So yeah, it would be these methods in which they would send to you whatever they have on file. So yeah, it's a confusing topic, but I would say the most commonly asked question that I get is, are these actually happening? And will Social Security be eligible to receive these? And I hope that answers your question. In some cases, Social Security, Yes. In some cases, no. It just depends. If you have kids and if they are under the age 18, 17 and younger, or if you have a child who is aged 18 through 24 and they are enrolled in school, then yes, you could get that $500 one-time payment. It's not a monthly payment for those, the 18 through 24, but it's just a one-time $500 payment. So let's leave it at that for now. I hope that helps you out. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. And if I need to make another follow-up video and answer more questions, I'd be happy to do that for you and just do whatever I can to help you out through this time, because I know it's incredibly confusing, right? So either way, I'm here to help you. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video and check out any of my other videos here on the channel, as I have almost 1,100 videos right here on the channel. Thanks everybody. You're awesome. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you in